this is a homemade granola recipe. I've put 3 cups of oats in a bowl, and now I'm going to add the other bits and pieces. So I've got almond flakes, so we're going to have a cup of those. So they go in. Bought on Amazon. And then I'm going to add a cup of pecan nuts, but I want to break them up a bit so we don't end up with whole pecan nuts in the granola. So a cup of pecan nuts into a jug, and then just something to smash them up with. I've got a pestle from a mortar and pestle. Can't remember where the other half of it is, so a jug and that will do. So tip them in. Then I need half a cup of oil and half a cup of honey. So I'm using olive oil. You could use pretty much any oil, not sesame oil. About half a cup to me. I'm going to put that in the jug because I want to mix it up with the honey. And I do the oil first because then the honey comes out of the cup measure a lot easier. So that's the oil. And now I've got the honey. So about half a cup of honey. Add that into the oil. Mix them together. Don't need to be perfectly mixed. This ends up also picking up any of the bits of the pecan nuts that are stuck in the jug. Pour that in. You can, if you wanted a totally vegan version, you can use maple syrup instead of honey, and it also does taste lovely. And if you don't have the almonds or the pecans, just substitute some other nuts for it. Mix all of that together. That's all mixed. So now I need to put that on a tray to bake it in the oven. And I found by lining the tray with baking paper, it doesn't stick. Otherwise the honey tends to stick to the tray. So it's now all ready to put into the oven. I'm using the Argos, it's slightly different to most ovens in that this doesn't have a temperature control. So I'm going to need to put a cold shelf in the top oven to reduce the temperature a bit, which I think will make it about 160, 170 degrees. So that can go in there. Then I'll put the granola in and time it for 10 minutes. So granola's had 10 minutes in the oven. I'm just going to whiz it all round a bit, because it cooks at the outer edges first, and I don't want them to burn. Shame you can't smell through video, I think. Make sure it's quite evenly spread out again. And now I'll pop it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. That's another 10 minutes up, so just to get it all out the oven. As you can see, it looks quite toasted and brown. Mind your nose smells. And I'm just going to break it up a bit and swizzle it round, otherwise it will cool down as one big lump and then it's harder to mix up afterwards. So although it's nice having some lumpy bits in granola, you don't want the whole thing just like one big flapjack really. So that's out the oven. I'm just going to lift that off of the worktop and pop it there and let that cool down. And then when it's cold, I'll add the dried fruit into it. So final stage of granola, now it's all cooled down, is to get it into its tub and add the dried fruit. You can see it's gone a bit crisp and crunchy, so I'm just going to switch it up a bit. I'm going to pick up one end of the Bruce crisp. And break it up a bit as it goes in. So we have a tub of granola. The only thing it's missing is the dried fruit. And so I don't normally measure this. This is just a pack of sultanas. Sprinkle them over the top. And then mix them up a bit. You can add any sort of dried fruit you want. It's quite nice with cranberries, chopped up dried apricots, all sorts. And then normally 3 or 4 spoonfuls of this in a bowl. I normally have it with oat milk. Phil has it with normal dairy milk. Just lovely for breakfast. So that's my easy to make granola.